In June of 2000 here, coming at you with a bit of a rant on this movie that I watched. But before that, happy 2024, folks, and everybody. Hope everybody had a good 2024 holiday and everything. Yeah, so welcome to 2024, my first video in the year 2024. And yeah, gonna still keep kicking it in my channel with more rants and more reviews and more top 5 videos. And yeah, and I know, folks, me and Keith were supposed to do a stream yesterday, but the stream art wasn't working, so we had to reschedule it. So yeah, next Monday we'll do this wrestling stream of the top 5 overrated, underrated wrestlers next week. So yeah, stay tuned for that, folks. Yeah, that'll be for next Monday, and then this Wednesday, tomorrow, we're gonna do was it me, Sean, and Texas Hardcore gonna do was it top 5 physical media release of 2023. And yeah, definitely join us, folks, for that stream. And yeah, and we're also doing a watch party for Vigilante, which is a looks like a really cool movie. I have not seen it, but I still gotta check it out on Look Movies. And yeah, it's like some sort of Death Wish movie, but that anything that looks like a Death Wish movie, that's up my alley. I like revenge movies, especially I just saw yesterday. I saw Upgrade on HBO Max or Cinemax, one of those. I think I'm not sure which one. It was recorded on, but I got to see Upgrade 2018, directed by Lee Winnell, and that was a very badass, underrated, kick-ass sci-fi thriller film. Definitely a good movie. Glad it didn't have a stupid ending, because usually I feel like those movies kind of do have stupid endings when I see some of them. But thank goodness Upgrade was a really badass movie, and it was really good. And thank goodness it had a good ending, not a bullshit ending. But yeah, that movie is better than this bullshit that I'm gonna rant on. But yeah, that's the update, folks. And yeah, stay tuned for streams with Sean over at Cinephile Sanity and me in Texas Hardcore. And I, June 2000, we're gonna do streams for the top 5 physical media release, and then we're gonna do a watch party for Vigilante on Friday, and then next Monday, me and Keith are gonna still do the episode 1 on the pro wrestling stream with overrated and underrated wrestlers. But yeah, stay tuned, folks. But yeah, back to the rant, which I would say Upgrade's better than this bullshit. But here's my rant on the 2007 film Highlander 5, The Source. And some people may be surprised that there's a fucking fifth Highlander movie in the series. I did pick this up at a thrift store in Portland, Oregon, when I was visiting family over there in during the holidays of Christmas. I went to the thrift store like a few days, a couple days before Christmas, and yeah, this movie. I heard a lot of people say this movie was a piece of shit, but I didn't expect it to be a real stinking ass of a movie, because this movie was fucking awful, folks. And some people are probably fans of Highlander 1 and 2, and may not wonder that there is a fucking fifth movie that exists, and it's Highlander 5, The Source, from 2007. And yeah, this is easily one of the worst fucking Highlander movies I've ever seen. But thank goodness I bought this for $1 at the thrift store, because I have seen on eBay people selling this shit for like 15 to 20 bucks for this bullshit. And there's like Best Buy stickers and Walmart stickers on the slip covers, because I've seen people with slip covers on them, because this one doesn't have it, with Best Buys and Walmart stickers sells on them. I'm like, fucking shit. I That sucks for anybody that paid a lot of money for that back in the day, because I know a lot of these movies that come out back in the days in the 2000s, because this one came out in 2007, like usually these are a lot of expensive to buy at Walmart and Best Buy around that time, because DVDs were like the big thing. They were like the 4Ks of those that decade in the 2000s, and they were hell of expensive. So like, sucks for anybody wasting their money on this garbage ass movie because this movie sucks ass. Fuck this movie, man. Like, I just fucking hate this movie so much, folks. I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember what the hell this damn story was about, but I did remember seeing some like talking about the other movies, and I have did seen this one. I did see this one like a couple days ago, Highlander Endgame, which I actually didn't mind this movie. Surprisingly enough, I actually like this one better. It does have some clunky CGIs, but it's not like a total CGI ass fest of a awful CGI movie. Where this movie's fucking awful with the CGI crap. But this may be another review for another time. But this, but this one I didn't mind. And you got Christopher Lambert in this movie. Like Christopher Lambert's in the movie, so yeah, you still get positive with that, and it's still a solid movie. But this movie is such a piece of crap. The only actor that comes back to this movie was Adrian Paul's character, Duncan MacLeod, who was like the character that was seen in the Highlander Endgame movie. But he was also a character playing the Duncan MacLeod character in that TV show of Highlander, which concluded into the Highlander Endgame movie. But this one is where Highlander was it the Highlander of Adrian Paul's character Duncan MacLeod. He's like the solo character because, of course, at the end of Endgame, um, was it Christopher Lambert's Highlander character? What's his name? Fuck, Connor. His character's name Connor. That was in the movie. Who was in the original movies, like the first three movies. He does die in Endgame, but it's like only in like the near finale of the movie, not the middle part of the movie. So thank goodness it's not the middle part of the movie. That would have been more of a piece of shit. But he does sacrifice himself at the end in the middle finale of that end of the Endgame movie. But and that's why you don't see him in this movie, because originally they were gonna bring Christopher Lambert back, but just be like a flashback character to Adrian Paul's character. Because of course, him and Adrian Paul had like flashback moments in the Endgame movie, but they were gonna do this like more of a flashback where he would appear in flashbacks and flashbacks of the past and the past, so he could be in the movie. But Christopher Lambert said, "Fuck that shit. I'm not coming back. I died in Endgame, so that's it. I'm not coming back." Thank goodness Christopher Lambert declined, because this movie is a piece of shit, and he made the best choice. But yeah, and there was a lot of special. There's some special features like a behind the scenes documentary. The only thing I saw was a Highlander video game sneak peek, which is I guess is the game that they fucking canceled from not being coming out. They canceled a Highlander game because I guess they probably saw how bad this movie was. Because this movie was dog shit, and it was so bad that they canceled the Highlander game. It looked cool. It looked much better than this bullshit. But yeah, it's bad enough that this movie has a lot of bad things that goes around it. Not having Christopher Lambert back, having a bad story, having bad cast. Adrian Paul's not bad, but he's trying to hold this movie on his ass because the movie is terrible, and he knows the movie's terrible. Because he was almost reluctant of not coming back to the movie. Like, what's the point? We ended in Endgame, so like I don't need to do Highlander again. And I guess he was supposed to like he was promised to be given like an honest, really good script of this movie being really good. But I guess he made a mistake to join the movie because they fucked him over, and the the script sucked, the movie sucked. You could tell that Adrian Paul didn't really want to come back to this movie. So yeah, he probably just said like, "Fuck this movie. I'm just gonna do a shit ass performance in this movie. This movie sucks." And yeah, this movie is bad. It's bad. That lead character doesn't even like this movie. The cast the other cast members are terrible in the movie. Uh, the story doesn't make any fucking sense. There's a character named Joe that they killed off in this movie, who was like in Endgame, and he was a character that was a likable character, and he killed that asshole psychiatrist dude in the end of the Endgame movie, and he was also in the TV show of Highlander. But yeah, that character gets killed, and yeah, so like two characters from Endgame are not really that much in the movie, and they kill one of them. And yeah, this movie's just bad. I'll just get to the plot synopsis real quick because this movie's just forgettable and nothing to remember about. But on and on, the movie just goes on and on about Highlander this, Highlander that, and it goes on to like this dystopian bullshit where it's like a future that I don't know. It went like all Terminator, where civilization turned into shit, and nothing was good about the Highlanders. A lot of Highlanders were failing. The world went dystopian. Gangs rule the world. Ruins was everything around the world, and bad things were going on. Like all that crap about just being a shitty dystopian movie. And yeah, it starts off with a crappy narration of a lady talking about the movie, narrating it very shitty. And it has the character Duncan MacLeod playing again by Adrian Paul, trying to find his girlfriend that he reunited at the end of the movie of Endgame. Who turns out it was not even in. The character comes back in the movie, but it's recasted with a different actress. I guess maybe because the actress saw this movie was bad, she didn't come back, so they recasted with her they recast the same character, his girlfriend that he's in love with at the end of the Endgame movie, with a different actress, and her acting is terrible. Her acting is just wooden and just bad and awful. And there's other awful actors that are in the movie. Like some of the Highlander characters that there's like more Highlanders that goes with Adrian Paul in this adventure and shit. Like a priest, an albino priest that has like blonde hair, and there's a hacker young dude that's a Highlander. Um, I don't know what the other dude is. Radio mechanic dude. I don't know. Highlander, but they get contact with him because one of their friends, who's another Highlander, gets killed by this villain, who's like the main villain of the movie, is this albino muscle motherfucker that wears like a gladiator hat and looks goofy as hell when he talks very deep, like he's trying to be intimidating to the Highlanders. But it just looks fucking laughably bad. And it's so bad that when he fights and kills one of the Highlanders that got destroyed by him, he does this shit where he goes like this, like a flash, with like like I'm doing with my hand, like mixed with the flash, mixed with weird CGI fog shit around it. And I'm like, dude, every time when he did that, it always gave me a fucking headache of how bad that looked. Like that looked like crap to me. That looked awful. Like I couldn't even tell what the hell was even going on with him fighting another Highlander. It's just like you get like all this scramble shit mixed with this CGI fog crap around it. Like looks bad. Like it looks really bad. And a lot of these fight scenes, even without the albino fucking villain muscle dude, even scenes with how him fighting, they're fighting other villains too that they encounter. The fights are lame too. They're nothing great or compared to like the four movies that had pretty good fight scenes with the swords. And the character Adrian Paul's character Duncan MacLeod, this cover is so fucking false advertised. He doesn't even use the fucking Highlander sword. He uses these butterfly fucking swords that don't even mean shit. These butterfly swords that are like the small ass swords because the albino. I'll just show the character. This albino motherfucker that is like the villain of the movie. That's so cartoonish and very bad in the movie. He breaks Adrian Paul's Highlander sword and stabs a sharp piece into the character Joe, who was like one of his like friends from the Endgame movie in the TV show. The albino dude stabs the Joe character into the stomach, like stabbing him with a broken half piece of the Highlander sword that belonged to Adrian Paul, and that killed Joe. So yeah, that's why. And that was like pretty much 20 minutes into the movie that he doesn't even have this fucking sword that he uses in the movie. He uses this this badass sword that the Highlanders use. Even Christopher Lambert used these badass swords and didn't get them fucked up. Because this cover is bullshit. He doesn't even use this fucking sword at the end of the movie when he fights this albino fucking bastard at the end of the movie. I'm sorry, it's just this character, this albino monster villain is one of the weakest villains that I have ever seen, and it's a very cartoonish villain. Weak villain compared to like that Kurgan villain from the first movie Highlander that was played well done and great acted by Clancy Brown, who does a great performance in that movie. I have something to say. It's better to burn in hell than to fade away. Hiya! I like Clancy Brown. He has funny shit when he says that stuff in the first Highlander movie as the villain, Kurgan. Michael Ironside playing the villain in the second movie was pretty good. I did. Was it Mario Van Peebles? He's okay. His villain was okay in Highlander 3, but what do you call it? The villain in Highlander Endgame was alright. But this villain, I don't even know what the hell this albino villain is. I forgot what the hell they call him. I don't even know they mentioned his name. But damn, this villain sucked ass. And every time when you try to see him fight and try to fight the Highlanders, you get all this scramble shit where it's mixed with CGI fog mixed with it because he has like this, like I'm not sure if he has like powers like the Highlanders. That's why he has all that CGI shit around him. It's so annoying to see that when he fights the Highlanders because you're trying to watch this fight and you just get. I was just getting headaches of seeing that crap. But of course, he breaks Adrian Paul's Highlander sword to stab Joe. So now Adrian Paul's character, Duncan MacLeod, has to take revenge on Joe's character dying and getting killed by this albino monster villain. So he teams up with the three other Highlanders, and of course he reunites with his girlfriend, who's played by a different actress, and her character, and that different actress is terrible in this movie. And the other characters, the other Highlanders are so bad too. Their acting's bad. Adrian Paul, he's okay. He's trying to carry this movie on his ass, but he can't really carry this movie on his ass because this movie sucked, and he knows this movie sucks. He was promised a good movie, but this movie fucking sucks. And you don't even, it's bad enough you don't even have Christopher Lambert back in it, so yeah, the movie's bad. It's like if you have a movie without Freddy Krueger or without Friday 13 and you have those names on there, nobody's gonna give a shit about the movie. A lot of people are just gonna say this movie sucked ass. No Freddy Krueger, no Freddy Krueger, no Jason Voorhees, like none of that shit. Come on. It's like this. You don't get no Christopher Lambert, so like who the fuck gonna see this? And I bet people who like the Highlander movies don't even know this movie exists because it's the best way to not see this movie because it's to see my rant about what the hell is this movie's even about. If anybody wants to see it, it's on Tubi for free or on YouTube. I'm not sure it's on YouTube anymore, but it was on YouTube for free. But if anybody wants to check this movie out and force themselves to see this garbage, definitely you're in for a ride of how fucking bad this movie is. It's up there with some of the worst CGI. So Duncan MacLeod teams up with the Highlander and his girlfriend to go after the albino muscle dude villain monster, and then they encounter this slob of a bob of a monster that they encounter in the woods. They talk to him, they defeat him, they encounter more assassins that are trying to kill them in this shitty slow motion fight that mixed with CGI blood and all that crap because there's disembodied slash from sword and stuff. Really awful CGI crap and bunch of back screens of CGI that looks so awful that it just makes you want to vomit. That's how bad it is. It makes you want to vomit of how bad the CGI background look. It just looks so awful. Cheap ass movie. Really. Such a cheap ass film. I know I seen a cheap ass movie this year, Honey, Blood and Honey, but this one takes the cake for this one. This is worse than Blood and Honey. The budget in this movie is cheap as fuck. Like a lot of heavy CGI crap around it. It looked like an Asylum movie, which I'll get to at the end of it. Why I mean about the Asylum films, but yeah, he goes to adventure to fight more and more assassins. I think one of the Highlanders gets killed by the albino dude. I think it was the hacker dude who was like the younger, he's like the younger Highlander, and he gets like the weird ass part with that is when the albino muscle dude goes in front of him trying to kill him, and like he goes like. I think he's like slashing him with the sword, like some sword or something, and it's just so awful. Like the hacker guy's going like, and then like you see all this CGI fog crap that like what the hell was that? Oh damn, that was just some bullshit right there, man. Like damn, like that was just I did not know what the hell the movie was going on. It was so bad enough that I just kept being on my phone. I was almost thinking of turning the movie off because this movie was so bad. So of course, Duncan MacLeod and the Highlanders have seen this hacker kit that's like a Highlander. He gets destroyed, and then they have a fight with. And Duncan MacLeod has a fight with the albino dude in a burnout scene where like there's a fireplace going on. And they have a shitty fight, and then of course they do another rematch later on in the movie because the movie is so damn boring that you don't even know what the hell's going on. They go to this dimension world. I'm not sure if it's a dimension world, but like they have like the CGI waterfall going in the background, and now Duncan MacLeod's fighting the albino villain dude, and then of course you get more of this crap where he's like CGIing like a flash with mixed with fog crap, and yeah, it's such a bad fight. And Duncan MacLeod doesn't even use his icon. He doesn't even use the Highlander sword that Christopher Lambert gave him at the end of Highlander Endgame. He doesn't have that sword no more. He doesn't even have that sword that kills the albino bastard that goes like this, like the sheep ass flash CGI crap. He's using the butterfly swords that just look like crappy weapons to fight him in. But yeah, it was a crappy fight that lasted like 10 minutes. It looked like it lasted more like a 20-minute boring ass fight and stuff. It was a boring fight, just very mediocre compared to like the fights in the other Highlander movies. But yeah, he does defeat the albino bastard, and he goes and kills him and slashes him and gets his revenge on the Joe character and the hacker character that get killed. But yeah, he defeats him, and then of course the Highlanders are going back to their place where they work at, and what's it called? Adrian Paul's character Duncan MacLeod goes with his girlfriend, and they have a kid, and they have this shitty narration by a lady that you don't know who this person's narrating. It's a very forgettable performance. I don't know who it was, but there you get this narration about, oh, Highlanders are in the future now, and we're in this dystopian future. I'm just making it up because I have no idea what the hell the lady was even saying because I was waiting for this movie to just end because it was so bad. But yeah, and Yeah, and that's a review of Highlander, the Source, folks. This is the fifth movie, and yeah, now my final thoughts about this movie. This movie was a piece of shit. This movie had a lot of problems around it, and there was nothing good about it at all. Just such a piece of crap movie that doesn't make any sense at all. And it's easily one of the worst Highlander movies and very forgettable movie that nobody doesn't remember, doesn't even know this one was out there. Yeah, best to not see this movie, folks. But if you want to force yourself to see this one, this train wreck, it's free on YouTube and free on Tubi. And I prefer to, yeah, just see it that way so you don't have to waste your money to buy this crap at the store or anything for $5 because this is not worth $5. Thank goodness I found this for $1. But if you find it for $1 and you want it in the Highlander collection, just definitely get it for $1. Don't waste money on $5. It's not worth for $5 because the movie's bad. Yeah, the movie's just so awful. The CGI is the heavy CGI. And now back to my question, what I was saying about Asylum. Why did it look like an Asylum movie? It looked like a freaking Asylum movie. You know how Asylum movies are bad with the CGI and they use heavy CGI green screens, and a lot of times it's bad acting in Asylum movies. I don't mind Asylum movies. I could appreciate what they're doing. I can't. I could actually watch an Asylum movie over this crap. This movie is just so bad. It's worse than Sharknado. It's worse than one of those blockbuster horror movies that they came out in 2006 and 7. It's worse than those movies. It's worse than some of the crap that they come out with. But this is just like this looked like an Asylum movie, man. Like I'm surprised Asylum wasn't associated with this movie. And this movie was made by Davis Productions, Sequence Filmants, Governs Part, Katana Production. One, two, three, four, five. One, two, three, four, five, six fucking productions were involved in this bullshit. And of course, Lionsgate released this piece of crap on DVD. And of course, yeah, it's a Lionsgate DVD. So yeah, Lionsgate released this piece of crap. And the only thing I was more entertained with this movie was the previews because they had previews of pretty good movies that were coming out in 2007. Like, damn, I wanted to see those movies than this crap. This movie's just awful, folks. Like, yeah. 86 minutes in my ass. This movie felt like 2 fucking hours. Because I was as bored as hell with this movie. I wanted this movie to end. There was times I wanted to take it off and just throw it in the garbage. That's how bad it was, folks. I really wanted to take this piece of crap out of the DVD player and just throw it in the garbage because this movie was just fucking bad. But you know what? I had to force myself to see this piece of crap because it's part of the franchise. I'm never gonna see this movie again unless I'm doing a review of the franchise and ranking them. But or I'm gonna talk about worst sequels. This is gonna be up there. But yeah, this movie is just so fucking bad. Originally, this movie was supposed to be in theaters, theatrically released in theaters, but they pulled the plug on that and they changed it to be released and premiered on the Sci-Fi Channel instead. So it's a cable movie. They released it on the fucking Sci-Fi Channel in 2007. Yeah, best way to present the last final Highlander movie because originally they were supposed to have sequels after this movie, but this movie was so bad that the producers and the productions involved in the movie said, "Fuck this movie. We're not doing sequels to this movie. This movie is shit as hell. Horribly rated movie. This movie is just so bad that it just go on the Sci-Fi Channel and knows that movie that's a bad situation when you put this movie not in theaters and not flop in theaters, but go to the Sci-Fi Channel. That's fucking bad." And it's so fucking bad that the video game never got. They have a sneak peek of it. Doesn't even never. They never made They never had that game come out in the Xbox 360. But this movie was so fucking bad, folks. Yeah, this is such a bad fucking movie. And yeah, nothing good about it. I think it's a piece of shit, horribly done movie. I actually really wanted to throw this movie in the garbage, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna just keep it. And yeah, everything's bad about it. Even the director Brett Leonard, who directed other movies too. I forgot the other movies, but the only one I remember seeing him directed was the Lawnmower Man, which I actually did like the Lawnmower Man. I know a lot of people don't care for the Lawnmower Man movie, but that movie's better than this bullshit. And I don't know why he directed this movie. He should have declined because this movie is just fucking bad. Damn, this is one of the worst sequels that's ever made. Fuck Highlander the Source. This movie's bad. Anybody could watch, like, if you want to watch Hot Blood and Honey or watch the other, you want to see Asylum movies from Sci-Fi Channel, watch those movies instead. Don't waste your time watching this piece of crap. If you want to force yourself to see it, it's free on YouTube and free on Tubi, folks. So you don't have to waste money buying it. Just watch it on those websites instead, YouTube and Tubi. But yeah, that's a rant on Highlander the Source, folks. Yeah, Highlander the Source is bad. I give it I give it I give it 1 out of 0. You know what? Fuck it. I give it 1 out of 10. That's how you rank. I forgot. I messed up the ranking because I just give it a 1 out of 10. This movie is just fucking bad. The only reason I give it 1 is because you know what? Adrian Paul was trying in this movie to carry this movie on his ass, but this movie sucked, and you could tell he did not like it. So you know what? I just give it for Adrian Paul's sleepwalking in this movie because he knew this movie sucked ass. But yeah, this movie sucked. Fuck Highlander the Source. Worst one in the series. And nobody doesn't remember this movie. Don't ever check this movie out. This movie's bad, bad, bad. And even when if you want to see the movie, be aware, folks, when you get to that albino muscle motherfucker villain, when you see him fighting and he goes like this, mixed with CGI fog shit around him, you're gonna get headaches from seeing that shit, folks, because that gave me headaches. But yeah, that's a rant on Highlander the Source. Fucking piece of shit movie. This movie sucked ass. One of the worst Highlander sequels and worst sequels in a sci-fi action movie. But yeah, that's a rant on that piece of crap, folks. Have a good day, everybody. Hit the like, subscribe, and take care, folks. Bye bye.